Hello, audience. Welcome to all of you to this discussion session on accelerating the energy transition, private sector participation in Bangladesh's rooftop solar program. As all of you are quite aware, that Ministry of Power, Energy and Mineral Resources Division last year has launched the National Rooftop Solar Program, and it has already made good progress and has received lots of attention uh, nationally and internationally, particularly among the private sector participants. So today we like to discuss about its policy-related issues, its operational issues, its financial issues, investment-related issues, and how to facilitate the private sector in taking part in this very important National Rooftop Solar Program. So we have a panel discussion today. So and that where I think a good number of very renowned panelists will join. Let me actually invite today's panelists to the podium. It is Mr. Mohammad Khalekuzzaman, Joint Secretary, Energy Efficiency and Conservation Branch, Power Division, Ministry of Power, Energy and Mineral Resources Division. Mr. Mustafa Al Mahmood, President, Bangladesh Sustainable and Renewable Energy Association, BSREA. Mr. Motiur Rahman, Chief Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency Cell, Western Zone Power Distribution Company Limited. And Mr. Russell Ahmed, Vice President, Renewable Energy Infrastructure Development Company Limited, ITCOL. May I request the panelists to take their seats in the podium. Thank you, panelists, for taking your seats. As I'm actually mentioning you that last June 2025, I think government has initiated this program, National Rooftop Solar Program, with the target of generating 2,000 to 3,000 megawatt of electricity from rooftop program, particularly targeting to the public entities. So in that regard, a good number of initiatives have already taken by concerned ministries, departments, and the main target is to achieve the 20% of renewable energy generation capacity by 2030 and 30% by 2040. So that's the overall target of government, and in line with that, these initiatives have been taken. As you may know that under this program, there will be two major initiatives. One will be CAPEX model, and another is OPEX model. Under the CAPEX model, the rooftop, for the rooftop of government offices, the project financed through government funds. And under the OPEX model, particularly for the educational institutes, school, colleges, madrasas, and healthcare institutions, will be implemented under 4 different models. And these models are utility OPEX, public-private investment sharing PPIS, third-party OPEX, and general OPEX. And already under these 2 initiatives, government entities have begun estimating their project capacities, estimate the costs using the solar calculator, submitting net metering applications for technical approval from the Power Division, and requesting budget to the Finance Division. And also under the initiate OPEX model, Power Division have assigned MOU with 5 different ministries already, with a target of around 1,500 megawatt of solar power to be generated from there. And distribution companies have already issued tender packages for that under this third-party OPEX model. So a good number of initiatives have already made progress, but we understand that the major player will be the private sector. So how the private sector find these initiatives, and how they are actually taking part in this process, and what's their observations so far, and what sorts of support they are still expecting to the government, that we also like to know. And also, investment and the finance is another important part where I think ITCOL will play a major role, and we like to get their views about what sorts of investment-related concerns, risks, or opportunities that they have observed in this rooftop solar program. Let me actually invite you all to the panel discussion. As I told you is that we have a very experts panelists here today, and I already mentioned their name. Let me actually once again mention their name. We have with us Mr. Mohammad Khaliquজ্জামান, Joint Secretary, Energy Efficiency and Conservation Branch, Power Division, Ministry of Power, Energy and Mineral Resources. We have Mr. Mustafa Al Mahmood, President, Bangladesh Sustainable and Renewable Energy Association, BSREA. We have Mr. Mutiur Rahman, Chief Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency Cell, Head Office, West Zone Power Distribution Company Limited. And finally, we have Mr. Russell Ahmed, Vice President, Renewable Energy ITCOL. So I'm sure that you will find this panel discussion very interesting. So we will actually discuss the various kinds of issues, starting from the policy-related issues, then its operational issues, then private sector's participation, and financing issues here. Let me actually first ask Mr. Khaliquজ্জামান regarding the policy leadership. That is very, very important. I am actually thinking that how much coordination-related issues will be required, particularly with the Ministry of Power, Power Division, with other, not only to the distribution companies, but also with respective other ministries and departments. And you have already signed MOUs with 5 ministries. So what's your plan? How do you actually maintain these coordination issues, which will be very, very important for the success of this initiative?
Okay, thank you. This program is a totally coordinated effort because there are many stakeholders and actors are directly involved in this program. The Ministry of Education, Health, Women and Children Welfare, and Finance Division. Directly, these ministries are involved, and the private sector, financial institutions, and our utilities are also involved in this program. So, the coordination is the key pillar for success of any program, and our success depends on how much or at what extent we can coordinate these things, because this is a massive task. This is clearly a massive task, and a massive task can't be done without the coordinated effort of every stakeholders and actors. So we are going to install the solar energy and in the rooftop of different schools, hospitals, and government offices. And we are following different models. So each model requires different pathway to implement this program. So each and every actors, I already mentioned, there is even the association, dealing with the solar, they are also associated with this issue. So, another important thing is the finance. For successful completion of this program, low-cost finance is essential for investors. So those who are going for investment in the, and we are and already we know different investors has already came for this investment in this solar program. So coordination is must. The best thing for this coordination, and I already mentioned there is a committees in Upazila level and district level. If any dispute arises regarding different issues, so it will be solved by these committees, and the coordination is must among these players.
If I ask you a supplementary question, now you have signed agreement with 5 ministries, but I understand that you have already made a target that by December 2025, you would like to reach some level of achievements. So how did you see that whether this target could be achieved if the new ministries and departments will join in? For example, it is not the coordination between you and that ministry. That same coordination will be required with you and the cabinet division and the finance division as well, who will actually give the approval of the finances. So how do you actually ensure that all will be moved very smoothly?
Okay, thank you for this question. Actually, initially we signed MOU with 5 ministries or divisions, and we are encouraging some other ministries because solar power is not confined to these 5 ministries. We have to spread it out to other government offices and ministries or divisions. So initially we signed 5 because they have large number of infrastructure at the rural level, and in the Upazila level and district level. So uh, other ministries, we are going gradually, we are going for other ministries because they have also establishment buildings in the rural areas, district level and divisional level. So, but as this initiative is taken newly, very recently, so initially we added 5 ministries or divisions, but we are in the pipeline to do MOU with other ministries or divisions. And about the target, we are hopeful because we already floated our tender, and different investors have already submitted their tender. And there are some renowned institutions also. There are renowned firms already joined to this tender process. So I think the target which we set by December, we are hopeful we will meet this target because the few minutes ago I told about the coordination, and we are approaching with a coordinated effort which will help us to, and we are really dedicated. And our utility companies, they are also dedicated, and they are the key player in this program. So they are also serious, and even we are talking with the school headmasters, hospital level officials, so that we can do it very smoothly. Because without coordination and without their help, we can't do this. So we are hopeful we will do it on time.
Just one last question to you. Is the policies and the or the guidelines are all set, or any kinds of further improvement is required? For example, net metering guideline, whatever available, or the tendering process, whatever you have to. Any experience that do you need any kinds of changes or upgradation on those documents?
Thank you. Actually, the net metering guideline and the renewable energy policy is formulated in this year, in 2025. And each and every rules, it is need to be, the power sector is a very volatile, and not volatile, it changes very rapidly because the capacity changes, demand changes. So every 3 or 5 years, we need to change our regulations and policies. If future requirement requires to change the policy, obviously government will do this because the capacity is increasing. In one meeting, one private sector investor, they are doing with the electric vehicle charging point, and they are telling we have also the electric vehicle charging guideline. If you go to our website, you will find this, and it was did in 2 or 3 years ago. But now the capacity has increased, technology increased. So they are telling we need more upgraded version. Okay, I told him, okay, you wrote to us, you write to us, we will consider this because technology is changing. So we will not be static position, okay. If necessary, we will go for change, obviously.
Thank you. Thank you. We heard from the government side, power division side, that how much they are dedicated to make this very new initiative successful. And we are very much looking forward to their active participation and active guidance in implementing this program. Now move to the private sector. I think BSREA will play a very key role in this whole process, and being the EPC contractor, and when an operational maintenance related contracting issues, you have to play a very major role. So what kinds of opportunities and challenges you are seeing in participating in this National Rooftop Solar Program? Don't start with negative words. Start with some positive messages. I understand because private sector always try to see well, we don't have see any opportunity, but try to make at first that it's a good opportunity. Then you just claim that you need those kinds of support. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Khandokar Gulam Jim Bhai. Actually, he has been stopped at earlier than what I need to talk. And the thing is that actually from the beginning, I would like to remind you that during the National Rooftop Program has been announced, immediately BSRE and then yourself have been to be go to the press conference. We would like to give the carefully thanks to the government. That is your word,
Right,
actually.
right.
And that's today we are still quite same, actually. Of course, the government has been done a lot of things. There is no doubt. And fortunately or unfortunately, or with the system, actually, BSRA was involved all the process, which is already you mentioned. Thank you to the government that they already involved the private sector, every single process. The thing is that, if you talk about the Uddog Ko, I mean the initiative A, that has been quite different. We don't have any problem on this because of the government has been taken the initiative and then open the bidding procedure and we just participate and do the installation. Our part has been quite finished. There is no problem. The problem is that, that we have to think about this. Now, when you are expecting the investment, that investment has to be win-win. That is most important. Then, which is our concern. The BSRA has been officially write down to the chairman of the BPDB as well as the ministry. And also we have been met with the pre-tender meeting. Clearly we have been. The issues is that when we are calculating what is the cost, that means we need to find out what is the obstacle, what is the security of the roof, we have to provide the security of the roof or not, and what will be there is that transportations, what will be the financing issues, what is the taxation issues, whether the import, the duty and tax is exempted or not, and what this all has to be calculated. This is the issues about the investment part. That's why our concern we already given to them, and also we are working on it. I think government will be think about it. Mostly, this is crucial. Some of the issues which is already has been. Another point, you have mentioned very clearly that you are following the PPR 2025. The PPR is not mentioned that it should be control what will be the tariff. It should not. When you go for the open tendering process, that means it is open and it has to be as per investment and benefit all together has to be calculated together. Then can be finalized what will be the cost exactly. Then if you mentioned earlier that it's not above of this or the below of this, this is not the, I think PPR will not be allow on this issue also. I think it has to be revised on this point. And then we're talking about like the REB issues. The REB always bulk tariff is lower. Then how can people go for this one? But this is initiative by the government. We are not thinking that the initiative has to be failed or is going to be failed. Nobody wants this one. It has to be success. Everybody wants this one to go to success. But thing is that if it is like that, you control the pricing and then the bidder cannot be proceed for within this price, then nobody can go for the bid. It is that's why our mention was very clear. The rate has to be the dynamic. Maybe now you can control the price with the bulk rate. But later can we make some profit? No problem. But this kind of issues we already discussed with the government. I believe for the sake of win-win, for the sake of the power generation, for complete the power, the program has to be success. On this regards, some of the issue has to be, government should be think about it. This is our understanding. Actually.
Okay, thank you. I think two good things I heard that government, while formulating the whole program, is always fully in touch with the private sector. That's a very good point to hear, and thanks to the government that you have taken suggestions from the private sector while formulating the whole program and the initiative. But my supplementary questions to you regarding the price, as we see that the tariff will be 8.89 kilowatt hour. How do you find that? You mentioned that government should not be, but already they have open tender, and we have heard that private companies are already taking part in the tender. So they already find it competitive, isn't it?
No, actually, the second part, which is the initiative B, that not yet open. Just they go for the open for bid and time for the submitting. This is the cases now, and after the submission, then we could know that what is actually the rate on this point. That's why our question is very simple. That if it is lower, it's not a problem, but it is goes something a little bit above. What is the problem? It is the open tender, because of the customer has to be investor calculate what is exactly their investment. The based on investment has to be calculated. It cannot be controlled, this one. PPR will not be allowed this controlling. This is, of course, if you want to control, you have some mindset of we should not go beyond the bar rate. Then, okay, let them allow to dynamic rate. But now we can reduce the cost, no problem. But 5 years, 10 years later, we can have increased some cost. Then that will be fantastic. Another point I would like to say, the inflation, exactly we don't know. Today might have the 10% or 5% or 8% or 7%, no problem. But who knows, after 10 years, it will go 100%, the inflation. Then how you survive on the employees and everything to be, the service should be, system should be served properly to the grid. That will be another problem will become. I think dynamic will be one of the big solution. Our association always in very much vocal on this point, and it will be help to this program actually. Otherwise, today in this discussion meetings, I can, as a president of VSRA, I can say very clearly, this is very less bidder will be participate, because we have been sit many of the members and elaborate discussion will happen, and we know this is one of the big barrier.
I think government will take note of this concern regarding the pricing issue, and already some informal discussion I had with the colleagues that they are already thought of some different aspects also, and it is mentioned that they are not stringent to any kinds of a current system, and if required they may do some changes in the policies and the frames if required. My last question is that how did you find the foreign investors participating in the tendering process? Is there any bottlenecks for them to participate in this tender process?
I don't think there is any bottlenecks for the foreign investor, because I also believe some of the foreign investors are also coming. But just same question actually as a BSRE officials and then staff. So the same question they'd like to know very clearly. Actually, the investment always need to be think about the return. They have to be return in the equity, as well as they have to be pay off of the financing, the loan, as well as they should have some profit also. These three things has to be ensured, then investor can go for the investment.
Any issue on financing?
Of course, the financing is the big issues. And that's I said, what price we should submit, then we have to know what will be our interest.
Access to finance?
Access to finance. That not ensured yet. Yes, we got some of the guidelines. We have met with the banks, and ESRE also organized the meeting with the bankers. Then what will be but still now we are not absolutely clear. Of course, we get some guidelines or some of the initial discussion. Yes, they would like to go for the 5% of the flat rate for financing, but nothing is ensured yet. But we believe on this, yes, it will be maybe 5%. We can get the loan financing from the banks.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We heard from the private sector that how they are seeing this initiative. They want a win-win deal under which the government will get the low-cost energy. At the same time, private sector will encourage to invest in this new initiative. So that's very logical. Now go to the distribution companies. Here we have Mr. Motiur Rahman, from West Zone Power Distribution Company Limited. We like to hear from him regarding the tender process. You have already floated a tender under this third-party open OPEX model. So what's your experience regarding these tenders? What sorts of challenges you have seen, and how do you like to overcome these challenges?
Thank you. Actually, we have floated sixth package of tender for about 56 megawatt. Already, some bidder has purchased our tender. Now we are not facing any problem. We are very hopeful to success this program. And some bidders during the pre-bid meeting, they have said some issues like for the evacuation of power, or the little system will install a different education institution and the health institution. So we are always encouraging him to help from the utility, and inshallah this program will be success without any.
In fact, being engaging with other researchers, one of the observation from the private sector is that how much the tender process will be transparent and unbiased, because there may have a confusion that some party may get favor this way or that way in the tender process. How could you ensure that the tendering process is full of transparent and efficient manner is happening? How do you ensure that?
Yeah, thank you. Because this is the open tender, so when the bidder is bid the tender, there is some qualification criteria like a specific experience and also the financial experience, as well as the tariff rate. Actually, whose bidder is giving the lowest tariff, they will win the tender. So there is no any confusion. This is the fully transparent tender. There is no confusions from our side.
And another supplementary questions to you regarding this new addition of variable electricity. You have already have your distribution networks, and the grid act already have the capacity there. So how do you accommodate this variable electricity? Are you prepared for this additional electricity to be accommodated there? Is the grid ready?
Thank you, very nice question. Actually, for the net metering guideline and the Uddok, there is no issues, because the most of the system will come under the sanction load. So up to the sanction load, there is no problem to integrate the system. For the Uddok, we are very aware about this. When the system will integrate with our networks, then we are very close to with the bidder, because some cases the evacuation line will be changed. So we always help to the bidder to how the evacuate power to the to integrate our networks. And
Just to understand, I understand that these kinds of variable electricity always needs an upgraded grid or smart grid system. And some of the projects you have already initiated in the DESCO area, I know. So you have any plan to upgrade the distribution system so that this variable electricity can be automatically balanced and managed?
yes, because with the aid of GIZ, already we have installed a smart lab. So before integrating the large solar system or distributed solar system, we are easily calculate by using the Dixieland Power Factory or any other distribution network analysis tools how the impact will come in our networks. So nowadays there is no problem to integrate this solar system, no problem.
Thank you. Thank you. So we heard that how the utility system or the distribution companies are getting ready about this new electricity. We have here the managing director of West Zone Power Development Company Limited, and he said that how his busyness at his level in the West Zone has substantially increased because of these newer kinds of initiatives that have been carried out under this National Rooftop Solar Program. So we are very much looking forward to this initiative. We will hear from him later on. Now let me to the final panelist, to ITCOL. We like to hear from ITCOL regarding the financing issues and the investment related issues. We know that ITCOL is already in this business for quite some time. So how ITCOL is taking part in this National Rooftop Solar Program? Is they introduce any kinds of newer initiatives targeting this National Rooftop Solar Program?
Thank you so much. So as you know that from ITCOL we are financing the solar technology from us since very long time. So by far we have financed around 50% of the national capacity. So yes, we are very much prepared for the new National Renewable Energy Solar Program that has been introduced. So in the financing side, one of the key question is that for 1300 megawatt peak, you will require about 5,000 to 6,000 crore of total investment. So of which I believe like about 1,000 to 1,500 will come from the private sector as equity. So still there will be a gap to about 4.5 to 5,000 crore. So as we can see that from ITCOL we always try to connect the private sector with us into this sector so that everyone can have a very win-win situation. At the same time, no single institution can solely provide such a big financing in this sector. So from ITCOL we are already providing financing to the rooftop solar systems. We provide finance for 8 to 10 years tenure with very soft interest rate like 5 to 5%. So we are planning to extend our financing to this sector into the same rate, into the same tenure and everything. At the same time, we are trying to connect the private banks through the Green Transformation Fund of Bangladesh Bank, Technology Development Fund of Bangladesh Bank. At the same time, we have other financial institutions like BIFFL who can also provide finance to this sector. So from ITCOL, we have taken a very long, we are very strategically prepared for this kind of financing. Like as Motir Bhai has mentioned that they have floated 6 tenders. So we believe like with a short time, we will see hundreds or more, a few hundreds of tender will be closed. There will be multiple players who has obtained multiple tenders.
Right.
So we are planning to go for the blanket approval so that one borrower can take 5 or 6 tenders approval together, and the approval process will be faster, which will help them to implement the rooftop solar project very faster. So this is our preparation for the upcoming tenders.
Usually, I understand that you always have various kinds of tools, risk tools, as well as risk mitigation tools, as well as the financial tools or the blended finance, various kinds of financing you usually follow. Do you perceive that some special kinds of tools or the financing tools or the risk mitigating tools need to be taken into account for this rooftop solar program as it will be carried out under the public buildings? Or it will have the same kinds of financing mechanism or the tools or the analysis that you will follow?
I believe to connect the private banks and to the for the borrowers or the off-takers who are taking these project finances, we need a new kind of risk mitigation technologies, because so far what we have financed is the industrial rooftop solar systems. So into the industrial rooftop solar systems, we have a better security for the whole system. No outsider can come into the factory, cannot damage the solar systems. But while these systems will be installed in the public property, the security needs to be very much safeguarded. So we believe insurance should be very strong in this regard, where political insurance, riots, damages need to be covered by the top graded insurance company. Furthermore, I believe to engage to the private sector into this sector, we need a guarantee, which can be introduced from the Bangladesh Bank, or we can use some international guarantee like from Guarantco or MIGA, so that the borrower himself, also the financier himself can get a understanding and get a comfort to finance these projects.
So who will initiate these new kinds of insurance support that you need? You will initiate, or you would already seek support from the Bangladesh Bank for these kinds of guarantee initiatives?
In our existing projects, like what we are financed, we already incorporated the insurance systems.
Okay.
So when this comes to the larger capacity, the discussion has started. There is no conclusion yet, who will provide the insurance. So we are in discussion with the governments and with also the private insurance companies, or also the guarantors from abroad, like Guarantco and MIGA. So perhaps we will be able to sort out who can provide such a big insurance. This will be a very big insurance, like 5 to 6,000 crore. Even if you take 7 to 8 companies, each of them will be required to provide 7 to 800 crore of insurance. So we are already in the process of obtaining the insurance from the insurance company.
Does that increase the cost of fund?
Of course, it will increase the cost of fund, but at the same time, it will safeguard their investment.
Definitely. My last question to you: I heard from small scale rooftop rooftop implementers that ITCOL is not interested to the small scale projects. I think in on the private schools, the projects size will be very small. So will ITCOL avoid these kinds of school-based or the hospital-based one where they need the fund support?
Actually, in the schools or hospitals, all of them are bundled under lot. So I believe all the lots are like quite big capacity. No lots is lesser than 1 megawatt, I believe. West Zone Power Authority, under the 6 tenders, they have a capacity of 55 megawatts.
Okay.
Like each of the lot is about 5 to 6 megawatt peak. Of course, it's bankable.
And this will be lot-based.
It's lot based.
Okay, that's great. That's good to know that ITCOL is ready for that, but to ensure their funds to be secured, they will go for a lot-based one so that anybody can take the funding support from under this bidding process. So good to hear from ITCOL, and thank you for sharing the thoughts. We found a very good, important information. Now we like to hear from the open floor. I think here a good number of audience are there. We like to hear from him. Anybody here to support with a mic?
I am Gopal Krishna Devnath, retired chief engineer LGED. 3 years before, with the support from KFW, LGED make a study all over the district level office of LGED for rooftop solar panel. But due to the absence of this type of national guideline, we could not proceed. At that time, our ministry, our planning commission told there is no national guideline. So since the guideline is now okay, so now we can proceed and we can contact with the KFW again whether fund is available or not. If not available, we can contact with KFW BMZ office in Germany also. One thing. Number 2, LGD constructed all primary school all over the country. LGD has constructed all Upazila complex building, all Union Parishad building, and also many other markets, rural market. If you can think about through ministry to ministry, local government division and education, primary education ministry, then all rooftop of primary school, and all primary school are now 1-story, 2-story building, and Union Parishad building, Upazila complex building, or are 2-story, 3-story building. All rooftop can be used for official electricity supply, also net metering system. If you can think positive, and I can work in favor of LGD, though I am retired now, but I can contact with the present administration that it is the national demand. And the last slide, how much carbon credit will be available, it is really attracting for our country and lot of entrepreneurship. If you think positive, I can credit. And also, Ministry of Environment of Japan also doing many 32 country JCM, Joint Crediting Mechanism, according to Article 6.2 of Paris Agreement. And next month, December, they will come to Bangladesh also for PSM, Paris Agreement Crediting Mechanism. So you can contact with the Ministry of Environment for this joint crediting mechanism. They are working on Article 6.2, but I think they are not working Article 6.4 and 6.8. So in this case, the rooftop solar can be a pioneer also. So I think KFW funding is available, and all primary school all are available. If you think positive, I can work in favor of this because I am personally very interested. Because that time I contacted KFW and arranged this money, but due to national policy absence, I could not proceed. I can work.
I have a supplementary questions to you. Usually, after constructing the buildings, Upazila buildings and schools and hospitals, those have been handed over to the concerned ministries. After that, I think your responsibility should not, LGD's responsibility should not be linked with this operation of these buildings. So how do you like to see your role, LGD's role in this? Of course, I appreciate if you find some good way of coordination here.
Actually, this building handed over to Upazila administration.
Right.
But they headed by Upazila chairman, but Upazila Nirbhayi officer.
Right.
It is a national agenda. So you can contact with Ministry of Local Government, but it may be a Ministry of, anyway, what ministry is involved. From ministry to ministry, if you contact, আমরা জনপ্রশাসন মন্ত্রণালয় থেকে পারমিশনটা নিলে আর কোনো কথা থাকবে না, কারণ a lot of office there, agriculture ministry, fishery ministry, livestock, all are present there. So if you take from public administration, it is okay.
Okay, Mr. Kholi, could you like to add? Okay.
Okay, thank you. You have given some suggestions regarding the carbon credit and Article Paris
6.2,
Agreement,
6.2.
Article 6.4 and
ITM or PSCM.
6.8. I appreciate your suggestions. Government will think about this because, and Power Division also think about this. And regarding your concern about the primary schools and buildings located in Upazila level. Actually, LGD, it is the, when a building is completed, it goes under the control of the respective ministries.
Yes.
So we have the MOU with the primary and mass education
Yes.
ministry, okay? So there are several interministerial meeting with these ministries. So any issues arising from any time or regarding any subject, we are very careful to mitigate these problems. And in Upazila level and district level, there are separate committees also. So
Yes.
they are taking care of these issues. I think the coordination among these ministries and local level offices is good. So we are not worried about this. We are
Actually,
hopeful.
Upazila Education Committee. Okay, but it works under the Ministry of Primary Education. So if primary education is taking action, because this is a national agenda, so they will not go beyond this national agenda, I think. You can write a letter officially and I think they will give positive response.
No, when Power Division is going to install solar system in the rooftop of primary school, then obviously it is the MOU, based on the MOU, because one ministry can't do any development work to others building of other ministries, okay? So we have MOU and we are sitting with other ministries.
No problem.
Okay, so I hope there will be no problem.
Yes, no problem. You can sign 100 and 100 every signing every day. No problem.
Mr. Mutir, you like to add something?
Thank you. I want to add something. Sir, for your kind information, already from the Khulna, your local office, LGD office, already they are contracting with us. How they submit their fund to the finance ministry under this program. So already we have given some suggestions how they will apply. So I think, sir, the local offices, all our local offices are known to this matter, sir. So I humble request to you, sir, please contact with the local people to facilitate this program.
Okay, we can contact
Okay,
local
yes.
office, no problem. And under since it is a national activity, so centrally MOU is the best option.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, please.
Thank you. This is Imran Chaudhary from German company Ivy Works. I have two specific question. First question to ITCOL representative. So for the current rooftop bidding, do you think that non-recourse financing really possible? You can provide. Second question to Motiur Bhai. So what is the safeguard for the investor in this project if after contract signing, Ojopadika come back and tell that you have to reduce the tariff? Like what we are seeing recently, that even after PPA signing, government is asking for the tariff reduction, which is a huge red flag for the investor. So what is the safeguard in this project that, for example, I am the investor, I have signed the contract after tender, and maybe 6 months later, if Ojopadika comes back and tells that, no, now you have to reduce the tariff.
Yes, that
What we
point
are
is
seeing.
understood. Yes, thank you. Let me take some few questions. Someone raise hand from behind. Yes, please.
Hello, my name is Shah Ikhtiar Alam and I'm an individual energy consultant and also a certified energy auditor. I do energy and water audit plus carbon accounting thing. I do my stuffs. So I have a query here, though it's a bit late for Bangladesh to enter into the carbon market, where all the countries developed and middle income country are running in the field, but we are still very well lagging behind. So here you have said that you have a you are planning to do some carbon credit things, but when we are going to do the micro scale microgrids and generating carbon credits from the microgrids, we need some infrastructure because it's an expensive thing. If we aggregate the things like 5 kilowatt, 5 kilowatt, 5 kilowatt, and we aggregate those inside an infrastructure, then we can sell those things and generate substantial amount of carbon credits. It's okay for the industries because they do 500 kilowatt, 1 megawatt, 2 megawatt structure. But there is a huge potential in our country that if we aggregate those things under a national framework and aggregate 100 watt, 200 watt, 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatt, even 5 kilowatt things, and if these are done under a national infrastructure, then we can generate those things and sell those things to outside countries or even use for our purposes, because we need those things in later years. Already we know that the garments industries, they are purchasing REC certificate from the outside, from China and other countries. We are not sufficient enough to supply those RECs. So are you planning to aggregate those things and include those regulations and create a boundary? Because we can create a boundary like district level. You can create a boundary or zonal level boundary like district level, divisional level. But where the investors or the person who are installing those, they don't have the capacity to declare that as a boundary. The government can declare that Dhaka Zilla is a boundary, and they can aggregate those things and they can show the things. So if it comes from the national level, it would be a good opportunity to scale up those microgrids and sell the carbon credits.
Thank you.
So
Thank
that
you.
is one of our opinion. And another thing is that while I am doing my works, I see a lot of problems to gain the knowledge, because in my country, there is not sufficient persons who can deliver the knowledge and channel the things. Are you taking any sort of things, any sort of activities to build some capacities for person like us, the consultants and other persons who actually independently works? Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I think very good, two important suggestions that you come. Thank you for your queries. Anybody from this side? Yes, please.
Thank you. This is Engineer Fahmid. I'm basically GM GTech Solar, and as well as Member Secretary, Engineering Institute of Bangladesh, Political Engineering Department. I have two specific questions. One question is that, do you still have any plan for having the sovereignty guarantee for these kinds of investment? Number one question. And number two question is that, I think you know about the buffer go down and some others go down, or like the silos, food silos. They are under KPI zone. They have the good security. They have answered barak. Why aren't you having any MOUs with the Ministry of Industry or Ministry of Food? That's my question.
Okay, let me return back to the podium now. To you first regarding the finance issue.
Thank you, Imran Bhai, for asking the question of non-recourse. As you know, I earlier mentioned that we are already providing the financing. These are not the non-recourse financing. It comes with like other security packages. So in the same, like in these projects, we are expecting some other security packages as well. It's not the non-recourse financing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Regarding the guarantee issue.
Thank you, Sayan Bhai. Actually, you know, the tariff is the competitive tariff, and this is the below the bulk tariff. So, when the utility will purchase the electricity below the bulk tariff, so there is no confusion about the utility to purchase this, and utility will sign a PPA with the bidder. So, there is no actually there is no confusion, or there is no hesitate to guarantee to purchase the electricity.
Thank you very much. Actually, let me introduce myself. I am Mohammad Ruknuzzaman, Executive Director of Planning, West Zone Power Distribution Company. One thing I would like to mention, after signing PPA, actually, normally what happened, it is not taking consideration for the review. But after the situation change, the government has taken initiative whether the cost can be optimized, not falling yourself in the danger, because there are some certain gray area which was not being taken into consideration before the period actually what we passed, especially after July. So we also face and also work in the power sector that the government owned organization. The PPA signed, it was done even 10 years before, and after that it was recalculated. Maybe as you know, the power sector PPA, it was not too much old, and we are not that much of experience. We had lot of mistakes because of our lack of experience, because of our shortage of skilled manpower, and also calculation of heat rate and many other expenditure like periodical and preventive maintenance. With that consideration, it was not been taken into consideration that you are being put into the danger. It was the review and calculation whether anything can be optimized for the overall cost consideration, overall cost reduction for the entire country generation in country consumer. Because if I can reduce 1 taka, the same benefit I can give our customers. So considering that point, it was already being reviewed in our private government owned organization like the generation company. I was there as chief engineer, and later on we calculate both sides, and we taken the input from the technology provider like the Siemens, then Hitachi or many other organizations, MAN Germany. So after their counseling, we actually understand that there are some area which we can reduce some cost, because the tariff was cost based or levelized tariff. So that is why government taken initiative to reduce the cost, number one. Number two, the way you said, it is a little bit of your maybe consideration some specific point. Nothing is Bible. If we see, the calculation is also included some of the area which can be optimized after 6 months, 1 year, even 5 years, because it is a year of 20 years journey. So that's why
Brother,
there might be happen
just
anytime, any day.
take me his point. I think the point here is that you can review, no problem, but that should be written down that it will be periodically
So that
reviewed.
what
and
I
other-
said.
That should be in the contract.
Yes,
to be
sir, that's what I said, because our drawbacks, limitation, and the lack of knowledge, because it is being started in 2008 or 2010. So only for 20, less than 15 years, we are running with this process. So there might have written clause before year, anytime government may take the consideration of a review if needed, and of course it will be considering concern of both party, maybe either party and government side, and also our joint secretary is here. They also will take into consideration actually what to be done for the optimization of the cost.
One thing that I like to add to you, I think audience also, is that I think this will be a big initiative of private sector led power generation, you see, and there may have lots of dispute may arise at the local level. So how do you think that this kinds of dispute settlement mechanism is well formed
Actually,
and well is ready
understand,
there?
actually in our area we have 6 circle, and 6 circle is having several unit and the division. So what we did, we have given a committee, or we have given a team for close monitoring and discussing with them positively and constructively how optimize and minimize their disputed and everything. If they cannot do in their level, especially local level, field level, they will push forward to us, and we have a renewable cell, and I am leading that renewable cell. So we will take into consideration for positively solving the problem. If we cannot, then we will forward to our power division, and power division will take care of it.
Thank you. Thank you for your intervention.
Thank you very much.
To Mustafa Bhai,
So, hello, can I intervene for a bit?
someone in the online, you like to ask any question?
Hello, I've just taken the opportunity to connect in online
Yes, please. Go ahead.
in this valuable discussion.
Please go ahead.
I'm Tahmilur Rahman. I'm working as Senior Assistant Secretary in the Power Division, and I had the opportunity to get involved in the processing and making this guideline from the very beginning. So just to make a comment on the confidence of the investors that they're feeling that is the PPP can be changed in future or it can make any kind of vulnerability. So just let me clarify on that that whole program is focused for the private sector actually.
Right.
So we will do everything to get the confidence of the private sector. That's why we have troubleshoot all the policy bottlenecks and take necessary initiatives to interact with the different level of stakeholders. So from these perspectives and inputs, we believe that now we have come in a position that then we can make it successful within a very near future. So I would like to reconfirm and reassure you that the involvement of private sector is the most important part, and there is nothing to be afraid of, I would say, to get involved in the investing in the process.
Thank you. Thank you for giving the assurance. You have anything to add? You like to add any point? Mr. Rahman, is it okay or like to add any point?
Yes, I can hear. The most important parameter for me, we are already addressing, and already you have done so far. Second one is the finance, that the mechanism is already going on in different levels, from the commercial banks, CEPCOs, BIFFL, Bangladesh Bank, and also from different private investors, even the foreign investors as well. But the important parameter that I would like to expect the attention of the private investors is the governance side. The system will sustain for more than 20 years. And for Initiative B, we want the private sector involved for next 20 years to maintain the whole process. So currently, most of the private sectors are involved in installing for a specific time being, but not for that long. So how our firms, particularly private firms, are prepared to handle this, the whole system for the next 20 years? It would be great if I get some insights from you as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your intervention from the office. Go back to Mustafa Bhai. You have already heard the queries from there. And from my side, it was a question asked that the sovereign guarantee, does it necessary for these kinds of initiative as well?
Actually, there is very clear issues. Not only as an investor, the concern that I'm going to invest, then I have to be returned. This is one part. The big part is the financing. Of course, the equity participation, the investor will do as he desired because of he is going to be invest. That is the risk. Of course, we can consider. But in the case of financing institution has to be ensured that their financing is secure. That's why the kind of the guarantee is always needed, whatever it is. We cannot say like the kind of like the sovereign guarantee or like of the bank guarantee or any other guarantee, or the commitments by the BPDB or like the Ojopatika, whatever it is. But there should have some guarantee. Otherwise, financer will not be comfort to finance on this. This is very important. One other point which is already has been mentioned by the Joint Secretary, that we would like to very clear. If there is any kind of clauses, there is option to be reviewed in any time of this kind of contract, then I can guarantee there is no investor will come. Because of what basis I'm going to invest is I'm going to invest and then after 5 years you're going to be say this is a higher rate or something like that, then who will be return the money? Nobody will go. This is the perspective of the banks and the investor. Nobody will come. This kind of guarantee will be failed, this program. I don't think this kind of initiative will be taken by the government. It has to be, the business always is completely win-win. And as well as you have to provide to comfort zone to the investor. That is the cases. If no comfort zone, who have money, he can go to the other investment. He will be set up in the different business. Why should go for the high risk? Nobody will go. That's why the two issues very crucial and very important. The investment has to be win-win. The policy. Secondly, the comfort zone should be there. This is the main cases.
Okay,
thank you.
My last request to the Joint Secretary. Two suggestions have come, you have heard. One is that the mini grid credit market issue. So whether you have any plan to prepare such kinds of a national level framework for this mini grid kinds of credit market, that is one. Another thing is that, of course, we need trained people. And these kinds of energy auditors, we need a lot in the coming days. So you have already prepared some plan, but I didn't see much about that. So whether you will actually extend this plan for train these auditors as well.
Okay, thank you for your question, and the person who raised this question, I say thanks for your forward-looking approach. And he mentioned he is an energy auditor. Now we have 42 energy auditor at this moment, and who has got certification from STRADA. And in regard to his question, I want to say carbon emission reduction and carbon credit issue is not only bound for this, not only essential for this program. Now each and every project should have a carbon credit issue. Any project or any program. So at this moment we have to think about carbon credit issue in every steps of our journey. So it's true we don't have carbon credit skilled person, but market will not be vacant. Okay, it will be created because now the different people are working on it for carbon credit issue, and in near future we will get skilled people, but we have to start because carbon credit is a new issue even for our country. It was not was a common issue in Bangladesh. I know China, they have 8 local carbon markets. And Indonesia has already started their carbon markets, and our neighboring country, India, has already started the carbon market issue. So China did a great job. They have their own carbon market, very strong carbon market. So gradually we will take the suggestions from skilled persons, and obviously we are hopeful to do better in this carbon credit issue.
Thank you. Edwin, you have here, you'd like to say something? No, okay. We do not like to open, okay, just 1 minute. 1 minute, yes, please.
So I'm Zaidul Alam, Senior Vice President of Bangladesh Sustainable and Renewable Energy Association. So since I have just came late, but in the last moment I have heard that someone from the ministry, Mr. Rahman, Mr. Tamilur Rahman, he was just saying that confidence, that ministry will do everything to bring back the confidence for the investors. But my point is, we are, for the last almost 1 year, we are crying to every corner of the government to reconsider the cancelled projects. There are 37 projects, solar projects who have been cancelled. I think Muazzam also know that with the few conference we met and we discussed regarding this issue, that how to proceed without these 37 ready to build projects. By this time there would have been maybe out of 37 maybe 50% projects would have been started by this time. But my point is, when we approached the government said that okay, we are going to reconsider it, but so far there is no progress. Even some of us approached to the to the High Court for the justice, but still from the government side nobody had shown any interest to support us in this regard. The problem is, so we are the investors, we are the businessmen, so nobody is here to do any charity here, right? So if after years of efforts, the managing the lands and you know that how it works in the PDB and government, there's so many bureaucratic stages that we have to pass through. After having this, all on a sudden, another government came. New caretaker, Dr. Yunus government came, and suddenly it has been stopped. And now we can see that this government is also in a hurry to introduce so many rooftop projects, especially in the OPEX model and CAPEX models. So our point is, we know that after a few months, another new government will be, political government will be coming, right? So already yesterday also we have found that next election is very pretty soon is, the date will be announced as well. So my point is that, so already we are having a lack of confidence due to the last incident. Then why we should again trust government and again go for this sort of
Yes.
new adventures? I should say that it's an adventure kind of plan again. So why should we? The government has to convince us.
Thank
So
you.
I really like to, this basically is not a question that an answer that I'm expecting to anybody.
Okay.
So I'm just raising my concern
Yes.
that we are having this sort of issues.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. I think this concern is well discussed, and everybody is well understood the pain of such kinds of sudden changing decisions. Of course, there may have some logics, but there need to have a transition plan for these kinds of initiatives. We appreciate that before this government leave, they will take a positive and bold and very specific decision regarding those LOIs. Let me conclude by saying with these words from the Mustafa Bhai is that it's a private sector-led initiative, and we have to take that fully, is that unless the private sector cannot take on board this initiative, won't be successful. So it should be a win-win deal. So that is already well understood by the government side, by the financial side, and by the distributor side. So we are expecting that with all these stakeholders to take part in this initiative, we are looking forward to a very successful national rooftop solar program to be implemented in the coming months. So with this positive note, we like to conclude this session. And thank you, everyone.